Hello and welcome. Today, I want to talk about money, but not in the way we usually talk about it, because this is not going to be a conversation about numbers, formulas, or strategies that promise quick results. This is a conversation about behavior, about emotions, and about the quiet decisions we make when nobody is watching us. There is a book called The Psychology of Money, and at its core, it makes one simple but powerful point. Doing well with money has far less to do with how intelligent you are, and far more to do with how you behave when uncertainty, fear, and temptation show up in your life. Two people can earn the same income, invest in the same markets, and live under the same economic conditions, yet end up in completely different financial realities, not because one knew more than the other, but because they reacted differently to stress, to risk, and to time. Most of us believe that our financial decisions are logical, but the truth is that they are deeply personal. They are shaped by our childhood, by the environment we grew up in, by whether money felt scarce or stable, and by whether we have experienced loss, insecurity, or sudden change before. Someone who has lived through instability will naturally prioritize safety over growth, while someone who has only seen progress may feel comfortable taking risks that others find terrifying. Neither of them is wrong. They are simply responding to their own lived experiences, and this is why money arguments are often emotional rather than factual. One of the most uncomfortable ideas in the book is the role of luck and risk. We like to believe that success is a direct result of hard work and intelligence, and while those things matter, they do not operate in isolation. Luck plays a role in every extreme success, just as risk plays a role in every extreme failure, yet we tend to ignore both when we look backward. We study the people who made it, and we rarely hear about those who took similar paths but didn't survive, not because they were foolish, but because outcomes are not evenly distributed. Understanding this doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you approach money with humility instead of ego. Another powerful idea in this book is the concept of knowing when you have enough. Many financial collapses do not happen because people lacked resources, but because they lacked restraint. They had security but wanted status. They had stability but chased validation. And in doing so, they took risks they never needed to take. The hardest part about money is not earning it, but deciding when to stop moving the goalpost. Without a clear definition of enough, there is no finish line, only a constant sense of comparison and dissatisfaction. Enough is not a number on a bank statement. It is the moment you choose peace over excess. Compounding is often explained as a mathematical concept, but in reality, it is a behavioral one. It rewards patience, consistency, and the ability to stay invested through boredom and uncertainty. Most wealth is not created through brilliant moves, but through the quiet discipline of not making disastrous ones. The people who benefit most from compounding are not those who predict the future perfectly, but those who avoid panic and remain present long enough for time to do the heavy lifting. Impatience, not poor returns, is usually what breaks the chain. There is also a crucial difference between being rich and being wealthy, and understanding this changes how you see money forever. Being rich is often loud and visible, while being wealthy is quiet and often invisible. Wealth is the freedom you don't show, the options you don't announce, and the time you don't have to trade. Many people spend their lives trying to look successful, and in the process, they give up the very thing money is meant to provide: independence. True wealth does not seek applause, it seeks autonomy. Saving is often framed as sacrifice, but in reality, saving is power. It gives you control over your time, your choices, and your reactions to unexpected events. Money saved is not money wasted. It is money that protects you from being forced into decisions you don't want to make. Traditional finance assumes that people are rational, but real life proves otherwise. Instead of chasing a perfect strategy that looks good on paper, the book suggests aiming for something more realistic. A plan that feels reasonable, sustainable, and emotionally survivable. A strategy that allows you to sleep well at night will always outperform a perfect one that collapses under pressure. Because consistency matters more than brilliance when it comes to long-term success. Risk, as described in the book, is not volatility or visible danger. Risk is what remains after you think you have planned for everything. It is the unexpected event, the rare shock, or the emotional moment that forces decisions when logic disappears. That is why margin of safety matters, not as a pessimistic mindset, but as a recognition of uncertainty. You cannot plan for every outcome, but you can plan to survive uncertainty. At its deepest level, the psychology of money is not about getting rich. It is about staying free. It is about designing a life where money supports your values instead of controlling them, where success is defined on your own terms rather than borrowed from someone else's lifestyle. Money amplifies who you already are. It rewards patience, exposes insecurity, and magnifies habits, both good and bad. You don't need to master money completely. You need to understand yourself well enough to stop money from mastering you. And once you understand that, you realize that financial success is not loud, dramatic, or fast. It is quiet, steady, and deeply personal.